okay, how do you feel about the fact that you're one play away from Sam Darnold being your starting quarterback? I don't know. I would look at it this way. If you brought Sam Darnold in to be your starter, there's all kinds of concerns about that. But he's a very high-level backup in this league, and that's what he is now. But the bigger question from me is, where do you go from here? And this is not a blame thing. The fans and sports media, we all get together every day, and really, I look at it this way. You can only do what's obvious to do. We know what makes you tick. You know what makes us tick. We're going to talk about what's interesting, what people want to talk about, and what people have wanted to talk about for months is Trey Lance. And the 49ers cannot have that. Not in the regular season. You can't do it. You can't do that. Like, this is a totally different example, and it was unfair for all kinds of awful reasons that you and I discussed yesterday, Dibs. But if you want to know why was Colin Kaepernick not signed by anyone, well, answer A is racism. But answer B is because football teams don't want people buzzing about the backup QB.
Right.
They just don't. It's distracting.
Yes.
And that's where we are.
That's absolutely where we are. And I do think that the Kyle Shanahan part of this is significant in that he's got to be tired of answering questions about QB2 and snap counts and snap distribution and who's your 3 and who's your 4 and why did Brandon Allen get as many snaps as Trey and why is Sam getting as many as Trey and how's Brock and all the rest of it. Kyle Shanahan wants to talk about winning football, and we're going to get there after Friday, and I don't know why the news broke today. It feels to me like it probably came from the Trey Lance camp more than any other place that it would have come from, because the news comes out through Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, a.k.a. Rap Sheet. Sam Darnold will be named the number 2. And, Kyle Shanahan did say he was not going to announce it, and he didn't announce it. For all of you who are trying to come down Kyle's road, he didn't announce anything. The news may have leaked out, and who leaked it is an interesting question, but if I'm Trey Lance's camp, I would be the one probably to try to leak that out, thinking that I want to get ahead of the conversation in terms of getting my guy another job.
That's an interesting thought, because I don't think Trey Lance's camp has that information to leak. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure they told Trey that he's going to be QB3.
Why would they?
Well, you wouldn't tell Sam that he's QB2 unless you told Trey that he's QB3.
I don't even know that Sam's been told that he's QB2.
Well, then who was told that whoever was QB2?
Rap Sheet and Pelissero were told by people in the 49ers organization, because they reached a point. Look about it.
So they told them, but they didn't tell the people involved? I'm just trying to play out your scenario here.
Well, I don't know. Players don't, they're on a need-to-know basis, right? Like, Trey Lance was out there practicing yesterday. Why would you be like, but this whole thing about competing for QB2, you're actually not anymore.
But wouldn't you want them to hear it from you, personally, as opposed to reading it on Twitter from Rap Sheet and Pelissero?
Trey Lance is not even going to be on the team. I don't know why they would need to have that conversation. You know what I mean? That's how I view it now.
That's disrespectful.
Well, no. They're going to have the conversation with him now, or who knows? I don't know what was told, but you're suggesting that Trey Lance's camp broke news that they don't even have.
I'm saying that they broke news based on what they told Trey. That's what I'm suggesting.
That would shock me, because what's actually, in my opinion, going on here is the 49ers are now in what they're calling their dress rehearsal. Friday night is dress rehearsal.
Sure.
Well, dress rehearsal is to rehearse for the people who are actually going to be in the real games going through rehearsal.
So they told Trey Lance, basically, don't come to practice today.
Yes.
You're not in the dress rehearsal.
Correct.
You're no longer a part of what we're trying to do.
No, they're not being jerks about it. I'm sure they told him, look, we're going to find you a better situation where it's the James Wiseman conversation.
Right.
Find another team that potentially has a shot for you, can help you develop. That's not going to be here. And yes, they have their own reasons behind it that are separate from Trey, which is what we just discussed. They can't have this be every third question after every game. Who's QB2? Who's QB3? Who's the emergency QB? This, that, the other. It's completely distracting. But the 49ers I think the timing of it is this. A, you're getting ready for dress rehearsal on Friday night. and B, they're waiting for something. Their hope in the first 2 preseason games is that he would pop, and that someone around the
flashed.
league, so that's why it's now. The best flash was the end of the last game.
Right.
That's the best they got out of the first 2 games. The best flash was the last 2 drives on Saturday night. Okay, league, what will you give us? That's what's happening.
But doesn't the price go down based on the news that he's QB3 and the fact that he's not at practice, which tells me that he's not thrilled with being QB3, because I would imagine that Brandon Allen was at practice today.
He was, because he's QB3.
Right. So what's Trey Lance now? Trey Lance is.
I think
so. If I'm a team that wants to acquire him, I'm not going to offer you anything. I'm going to wait for you to cut him.
Well, no, then they won't. They're going to, they literally, for financial reasons, they won't. They lose $5.8 million against the cap right away if they cut him. They're not going to do that.
So they don't cut him.
They gain $3.5 million approximately in cap room if they trade him. So,
but come Tuesday, what happens if nobody has made an offer to trade him?
I think this is well done by Tuesday.
But if no team has made an offer of any sort, what happens on Tuesday? Do you keep him?
They will,
and then you cut Brandon Allen?
Yeah, probably. But I don't think your scenario is very possible. Someone will acquire him for something. If the 49ers need to attach stuff to him to make it viable, they will do that.
Wow.
They are going to find a deal. As I said earlier today, this is the football version of being DFA'd. You have been designated for assignment. That means we're going to take some time here to see if we can trade you. If you can't, we'll release you. That's where this is different. I don't think they get to the point where they release him. But they're going to find a deal. They're going to make a trade. I think just my view of it, you have some of this stuff maybe out of the order in that it went. Like the idea that Trey is mad and so he's staying away. I don't see that this way. I see that the 49ers have made a decision that their 3 quarterbacks are Brock, Sam, and Brandon, and they're going to find Trey a more suitable fit for right now where he is in his very young career. And they said, Trey, hey, we're going to find that other spot for you. And so it's prudent right now for you to stay off the field for 2 reasons. A, we don't want you to get hurt. And B, we're now getting ready for week 1 against Pittsburgh with the 3 guys who are going to be in Pittsburgh.
And C, we don't want you to get hurt. And D,
that was
please don't get hurt. No, it's A, C, D, and E.
No,
and that's not. They're giving them the Derek Carr treatment, which is please don't get hurt.
But
the only way to make sure you don't get hurt is by you stay home and you play video games.
Derek had a piece in that, though. Derek was a piece of I'm going to stay away.
Right.
I don't think Trey is a piece of this here. He is not at that spot in his career. He has not built that up to where he can, if you will, pout or get angry or whatever. He's played 4 games in his career.
Right.
So I think the 49ers are, yes, it's keep him healthy. It's, look, we're going to do something else with you. And so there just isn't that reason. Why would you go have him take practice reps and time? And it would be like just for show.
To maybe get a better draft pick when you do trade him?
The idea that his trade level is going to go down because he's been, quote, announced as QB3, I think is cart before the horse. These conversations have already been happening.
Right, and they haven't gotten a deal that they've liked. Otherwise, they would have traded him.
No, well, that was back at the beginning of the year. I think Trey pops on Saturday night at the end, and the 49ers' hope is, look, that's the best look we're going to get. Let's get on the phone as Sunday morning. Let's tell all the other teams, if this is a situation that fits, we'd like to get him a better fit. Let's do some sort of a deal. That news is out there. Now flash forward to today. No more practice for Trey. And I think by the weekend, he's in a different camp. That's probably how this is going to go, I would guess.
Geez. I wonder, because if I'm another team and I see the way this all played out and I see that he is clearly not QB2, we know that, and the team has not announced it, but the word is out that he's not QB2, and you've already got Brandon Allen in there who could be QB3. So Trey Lance is QB4, and you're not keeping 4 QBs. So if I'm a team that even has an inkling that I might like Trey Lance, I'm waiting until Tuesday till he gets cut.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I don't like the.
As opposed to what? Give up a draft pick for a guy this team clearly doesn't want?
No, but they'll keep him. They can keep him as QB3.
Sure.
I've been trying to say this all summer.
And then Brandon Allen gets cut? And then Brandon Allen gets picked up by another team.
Okay.
And you don't want Trey Lance anyway, so now you're going to bring Trey Lance back as QB3.
Sure.
And you said they're trying to avoid all of the scuttlebutt of having this question. So if that plays out and you keep Trey Lance and he's QB3, these questions only get ratcheted up even more.
Yeah, to a degree, and that's not what they want.
No.
But it doesn't mean they're not willing to handle some things that they don't want. I don't think they wanted this to be this way all summer long.
Right. They wanted him to be better.
Yeah. They try. Listen, the reports are all out. They tried to trade him 5 months ago. They tried.
They should have.
Nobody offered him anything.
I thought they got offered a fifth.
No, they did not get on. That's what they wanted.
Michael Silver said that they.
Michael Silver just said an hour ago they did not get that 5 offer. I think they would have done it.
So now you think they're going to get a fifth?
No,
they're going to have to package a player just to get rid of a quarterback that you traded up to get.
I think a 6
My
gets it
God,
done.
what a disaster!
Yes, it's a terrible, terrible trade.
What a disaster!
It is a terrible, terrible trade. Whew. Hashtag they're NFC favorites. So that's the odd thing here.
Well, hashtag it better work out.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Hashtag Sam better be good because if Brock gets hurt and Sam stinks. My God, Mark, this whole thing unravels.
I know people love to go there. Oh, this better work. What NFL coach does not have that phrase hanging over their head? That is
Andy Reid.
But that's because it already worked.
Exactly.
Like any NFL coach. This
Sirianni,
is
he's got some wiggle room.
Ask Gabe. Hey, Gabe, do you feel like it better work? Yeah, it better work. It has to work or else you lose your job. That's professional sports. So this isn't new. This isn't like some new
Some teams
revelation.
have more wiggle room than others.
Well, of course, if it's already worked. But there's no new revelation for Kyle Shanahan like this better go well. Or like he does not have a lifetime contract.
Right. But
they win or he goes.
This becomes the closing of a bold move that clearly backfired.
No doubt.
But it's okay because Mr. Irrelevant went 13-4. That's what makes any of this okay.
Correct.
If they were 8-9 last year,
gosh, there would be
it'd be pitchforks and there'd be an angry mob.
Totally.